When I was in the Congress and Communist China tried to take over Union Oil, we took steps to stop that because we were concerned about Chinese entities owning American companies. Is this notion of Alibaba coming to America a mixed blessing, Michael?
Yeah, we're going to find out if indeed it is. But again, we talk about this. You have a president who first of all is a businessman. And so everything he is doing, he is looking at through the eyes of a businessman, not through the eyes of a politician, because they look, as you know, a lot differently at things than, in fact, businessmen do. Businessmen have been railing for years about taxation, about bringing jobs back to the United States and how to be able to do that. You now have a businessman who is trying to find a way to do that, working with the Alibaba. But you're right. I mean, during the 80s, my father and those companies and also my father's the one who saved the big motorcycle company sitting there in the middle of the country when, in fact, the Japanese were trying to infiltrate in the United States and dumping motorcycles in the United States. It was my father who put the tariff on those motorcycles to save the #1 motorcycle company in the United States of America, and did it. That would be our friends at Harley Davidson, and I think the people of Sturgis, South Dakota, thank Ronald Reagan to this day that Harley remained an American company. I tell you, I wake up every year wishing I was a motorcycle driver instead of a boat racer, because I feel I'd probably get a free motorcycle every single year from that point forward. I wish they'd been in the yacht business. Well, as I remember with power boats in a certain place, old Lake Havasu City, Arizona, you did pretty well setting records during your speedboat days. On the subject of motors, let's talk about the entity known as Fiat Chrysler now, investing $1 billion in factories in Ohio and Michigan, adding at least 2,000 jobs, and that's according to a statement from the company. Fiat Chrysler also plans to produce 3 new Jeep models in the U.S., plus a Ram pickup truck that's being built in Mexico right now. Boy, it seems, Michael, that the art of the deal and putting pressure on these companies is paying dividends for Donald Trump in terms of job creation. Yeah, looking at the fact I own a Jeep and the first car I ever drove was a Jeep, I'm really glad to hear all those things. But remember, you have the Democrats for years have not found ways to keep businesses in the United States of America. They chase people away with high taxation, corporate taxes, personal taxes, what have you. You now have a president who's saying, we're not going to go down that road. We're going to find a way to bring you here. We're going to lower corporate taxation. And so all of a sudden, people are feeling good again about businesses. And so this is why you see this influx of companies wanting to come back and coming back to the United States and creating jobs. I mean, you've got a president who's put a lot on his plate, and he's got to be able to perform with what, in fact, he has promised. But remember, here in California, we've had jobs leaving this state for years. Why did they go to Texas? Because in Texas, they offered them a better deal, less taxes, less regulation. And so most of our corporations in California went elsewhere. That's all the president's doing, president-elect, is saying, wait a minute, we're not going to want you to go elsewhere. We're going to reduce regulations. We're going to reduce your taxes so everybody can bring their companies and bring their businesses back to the United States of America and not ever think about leaving again.